Hi guys, it's Ali and welcome to my YouTube channel. So this is only the second video that I've ever made, but I know hands down that it is going to be the most important video that I will ever make in my life. I say that because today I'm going to show you the top 3 book series that I have ever read in my life. And that is very important because number 1, if you read any of these series that I'm about to recommend, your life will change. It will, okay? Just trust me. And number 2, if you really want to know me, you need to know about the books that will be buried with me when I die. By the way, thought I should just mention that none of these books are like princess, fairy, enemies to lovers smut, okay? They are much deeper and much more complex than that. So if you want an easy read, you might want to leave this video. But anyways, without further ado, here's book series number 3. Da-da-da-da! The Green Bone Saga. You see how massive these are? I read all of these books in less than 2 weeks because I could not put them down. So just a little rundown, this series is a modern political fantasy where clans fight over the control of jade. And jade is a stone that grants certain bloodlines the abilities to like enhance your strength, your awareness, your reflexes, your speed, etc. And basically, I guess whichever clan has the most jade or has control of it rules the city and the country. So this series is so addicting because in the first book, the main characters, the main family I guess, they are young, they're less knowledgeable, they're naive, and at the end of the last book, they're like 25 years older. Okay, so the series spans over 2 decades. But through this series, you can really see how having too much power and too much leadership plus responsibility really impacts people individually and the consequences of it. And the characters are just so interesting that you need to find out what happens to each of them by the end of the series. And the characters are so interesting and well written that you just need to find out what happens to them after 25 years of violence and fighting for power. Some of them end up severely depressed. Some of them end up dead. Some of them end up a very cruel and horrible person. Some of them end up in the same spot that they started at 25 years prior. And I thought I should mention that there is no plot armor in this book, okay? So I hysterically cried at the end of this. And I mean hysterically, I was like ugly crying. This book series was just so insanely good that by the end of it, I felt like I was a part of this family. And I know that's weird and like I get way too deep into my books, but that is just how it made me feel. And I feel like a lot of people will also feel the same way after reading it. But again, this is not a light read. It's complex, it's deep, it's violent, it's gruesome. So be careful if you don't like those sort of things in a book. And should I just say, throughout the series, I was just happy. I was excited. I was angry. I was pissed off. I felt betrayed. And that is what a good book series is. If you are going through like a whirlwind of emotions, that's how you know the writer did a good job. And I promise the same thing will happen to you. Now we move on to my second favorite series, or I guess trilogy, The Poppy War. So basically this series follows a young girl with magical powers that fights to change her fate and defeat her enemies. That is what I thought it was about when I started reading it. Oh my god, was I wrong? As it turns out, this is the most violent book. All of them are. These are the most violent books I have ever read in my life. You see this girl on the cover, the main character? I cannot even count how many war crimes this young girl has committed. Okay, and I don't mean bad decisions or a little bit of murder here and there. I mean war crimes. And if you read to the end of the first book, you will know what I mean. So just tiny description. This series follows a girl named Rin, and she has these extremely violent powers, and a lot of other people have these powers too, but to wake the powers or use them, you need to do drugs, okay? And then they use these powers in a lot of warfare. So, read the back of the book. Now, while this series is very action-packed and it's interesting and it's gruesome and violent and all that fun stuff, it is also, I feel, deeply psychological. These books somehow make humanity just look completely disgusting and terrible and cruel, but also beautiful and loving at the same time. I swear, the themes in this book are so well written and so deep that you think about quotes that you have taken from these books and you think about them for like years later. I read these books over 3 years ago now, and I still think about it every day. That is how good it is, and it really changed my life, and it like shaped the way I think. Like that is the impact these books had on me. If you have not already guessed, this book series is incredibly violent and dark. It is not a light read, and I would not recommend this to anyone under 18, or even a lot of adults I would not recommend reading this book. The author actually put real events from the genocide in China inflicted by the Japanese in World War II, and she put some of it into these books. So this is not a series that you can read through easily, knowing that a lot of the atrocities happen to real people. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that the series is hard to read and it's not easily forgotten about. But onto a lighter note, the thing that made this book series just so amazing was the characters. They are just so well written and so complex. Some of them are filled with rage. Some of them are completely dumb. Some of them are highly intelligent. A lot of them are hilarious. And then a lot of them are just like questionable. There were a lot of times that I was thinking, wow, this is the funniest book series ever. And then I remembered what I was reading. And a lot of the time I was rooting for characters in this book that I should not have been rooting for. Yeah, there's a lot of questionable morals, as you have probably already guessed. And I may or may not have been rooting for relationships that are also highly questionable. But anyways, that is how you know it is a good, complex, well-written book, okay? When I finished these books, I cried and I cried and I cried for days, and my heart was literally broken for like months after. And to this day, when I think about this series, I get a little bit sad still. Okay, nobody has plot armor, and it is not meant to be a happily ever after type series. So some people, when they're done reading this book series, they end up happy, they end up disappointed, they end up, like me, heartbroken. But yeah, make sure you check the trigger warnings before you read this series. Now, onto literally the best series that I have ever read in my life and that I most likely will ever read is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I would just like to start by saying that a lot of men really like this series because it is just straight horrifying. If the main character in this book told me to go to war on the front lines and I had like a 99.9% chance of dying, I would go. I'd be like, okay, take me, I don't care. Like, that is the hype that this book series makes you feel. I want to go to war. I want to go to war when I'm reading these books, okay? I want to drop in an iron rain. And if you read this series, you will know what that is. Brief description. This book series is a sci-fi, and it follows a man named Darrow, who is a low-born red, I guess. And basically, he tries to take down a color-coded hierarchy. And that sounds like kind of dumb, but if you just read the back of the books, it makes sense, okay? I do not like sci-fi. I am not a sci-fi type of person, so tell me how these books ended up my favorite. Oh, actually, I don't need to tell you how. Read the first chapter. Read the first chapter. The first chapter shows exactly why this series is the best book series on planet Earth. The writing is just like on some other level. It's like drugs to me. Reading this series was like drugs. I don't know what the bridge on a spaceship is, and I do not care to know. But reading these, I was jumping up and down on my bed, and I was like screaming into the book throughout the whole thing. And I have never loved a cast of characters more in my life. A lot of the characters are just straight comedians. Like, I thought this book series was also so funny as well as insanely good. And they're all very, also like all the books I like, they're very morally questionable. That sort of thing. They're not good guys, I guess. They're not heroes, but you root for them either way. These characters, their sanity is questionable. Their common sense is questionable. Their motives are questionable. Even the children in this book series, I'm like, should they be doing that at this age? Anyways, insanely good, unhinged, crazy, highly intelligent characters mixed with the best writing that I have ever read in my life. 100 out of 100 book series. There's no other way to describe it. But let me add something better. The first 3 books follow one character, Darrow, the protagonist. And then in the next 3 books, and there's still another one coming out, but in the 3 after that, it follows multiple perspectives on each sides of the war. And the series is so well written that Darrow, the main character in the first 3 books, starts to seem really questionable in these books from the perspective of the enemies or the bad guys. You really don't know if you should be rooting for anyone. You think that you should be rooting for all of them. You might be on one side and then switch to another side. But that is how you know that it is a good series. If you don't know what to feel, you don't know who to root for, you don't know what's gonna happen, that to me is what makes a book series amazing. Disclaimer, just like the previous 2 book series that I showed you, these ones are not easy reads. They're not light, they are very dark, they're very depressing, they are violent, they are gruesome, and there is a lot of, I guess, due to the war, a lot of murder, genocide, that sort of things. But yeah, read the first page. Read the first page of the first book and you'll see what I mean. It's straight horrifying, I swear, and you are going to need to read all of them and it will change your life. I swear. I'm so sorry I get so passionate about this book series. I feel bad for the people that have not experienced it. Okay, let me just read you a quick quote, okay? On Mars, there's not much gravity, so you have to pull the feet to break the neck. They let the loved ones do it. I knew I was in for it when I read that first part. Okay. Anyways, I'm so sorry. That's it, I'm done talking about it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I got a little bit excited at the end there, but forgive me, I'm just so passionate about books, especially these 3 series, that I just couldn't stop talking about them, and I need you also to experience what it is like to read these. Anyways, I need to end it there before I keep talking. Thank you so much again for watching this video. And I really hope that at least you read a page of one of these series. And I think it will truly change your life. I plan to make a lot more videos, so please subscribe and just see what I'm up to. Bye, thank you.